If you're thinking about moving from the Northeast to Southwest Florida in 2026, just stop right now. Before you list your home, before you call a Florida realtor, there are 5 things nobody tells you. And I know this because I made the exact same move myself. I'm Joe Leah, co-founder of the Anchor Point Group here in Southwest Florida. My partner and I relocated from the Northeast, just like you are watching this right now. We've helped families from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts move down here. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell them on the phone. The honest version, not the brochure version. Here's what we're going to cover. 2026 property tax law, everyone's getting wrong. What exactly happens with insurance? The Gulf Coast versus East Coast question I get every single week. What golf communities really cost once you're in one. And the hidden HOA and CDD math that surprises almost every New Englander that buys down here. Stick to the end. I'll show you exactly which of the 6 Southwest Florida cities actually fit you, and they're not all the same. Okay, the truth number 1, property tax. I get a version of this question every single week. Joe, Florida has no state income tax, so the property tax must be really, really insane, right? Or the opposite. I heard Florida is eliminating property tax. Is that true? Both of these questions are wrong, and I want to walk you through it and why. Here's what really happened. In 2025, Governor DeSantis started pushing elimination of property tax on Florida homesteaders. In February of 2026, the Florida House actually passed HJR 203, a phased 10-year elimination of non-school portion of homestead tax. It passed 80 to 30. Real vote, real momentum, and then it died in the Senate. As I'm recording this, nothing has changed. There is no property tax elimination law in Florida. The Save Our Homes 3% cap still applies. The $50,000 homestead exemption still applies. And your tax bill is going to be calculated exactly the way it was last year. There may be a special session this summer. There may be a ballot measure in 2028. But if anybody is telling you you move down here because of the property tax elimination, they're selling you a future that does not exist yet. Now, here is what is true. The tax burden is dramatically lower than what most of you are paying up north. Quick example. A $750,000 house in Bergen County, the New Jersey, you're probably paying somewhere between $15,000 to $20,000 a year in property tax. That same $750,000 home in Estero, Florida, you're looking at roughly $7,500 to $9,000 a year, depending on the community you're living in. But, and this is the part nobody's telling you, when you buy a home in Florida, the assessed value resets. The tax bill the seller is paying is not the tax bill you're going to be paying. You've had buyers see a $4,200 tax bill in Zillow, writing them offers, and then getting the real number at closing, and it's $8,000. The Save Our Homes cap protects the seller for 15 years. It does not protect you on day one. So plan for the real number, not the Zillow number. Your taxes here will still be a fraction of what you're paying up north, but only if you plan for the right numbers. Okay, that's the easy one. Wait until you hear what actually happens with insurance. Truth number 2, insurance. This one's going to surprise you because for 3 years, the headlines have been screaming that Florida insurance is uninsurable. Carriers are leaving. Premiums tripling, quadrupling. I had buyers in 2023 literally walk away from contracts because of insurance quotes. Here's what's changed. In 2022 and 2023, Florida passed sweeping tort reform. They killed one-way attorney fees that killed the assignment of benefit abuse. And before reform, Florida had 11% of the country's homeowners insurance claims, but they had 73% of all U.S. insurance litigation. That's not an insurance problem. That's a lawyer problem. And once they fixed it, the market has turned. Here's where we are right now in 2026. Citizens, the state-backed insurer, just announced an 8.7% statewide rate decrease. First rate cut since 2015. State Farm, USAA, Geico, Allstate, Progressive all filed rate decreases between 7 and 10%. 17 new insurance carriers have entered Florida since reform. The market is the healthiest it's been in decades. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Florida is still the most expensive state in the country for homeowners insurance. The statewide average for a $300,000 dwelling is around $11,700 a year. That's roughly 5 times the national average. So if you're moving from New Jersey where you're paying $1,400 a year, yes, that's really the number you have to plan for. And that really determines based off of where you're going to be. If you're going to be in a flood zone, you're going to be on the higher side of things. But if you're going to be in a non-flood zone, a little bit more inland, that number could be substantially lower than that $11,700, but it's still going to be higher than your $1,400 a year that you're paying up north. But here's the things nobody's telling you. The variable that matters the most, more than anything else, is your roof. Most Florida carriers will not write a policy on a shingled roof that is older than 15 years old. They just won't. So if you're looking at a home that's 1985 home with its original roof, yeah, your insurance story is going to be a nightmare. But if you're shopping a home built in 2002, when Florida tightened their building codes, and especially building a home after 2017, the hip roofs and the proper wind mitigation, your insurance comes in at half, sometimes a third of what the headlines have told you to expect. So the question isn't, can I afford Florida insurance? The question is, what home am I buying? The home you choose decides the insurance bill, period. Okay, moving on. The next one is the question I probably get more than any other question. Truth number 3. Every single week, somebody from New York or New Jersey or Massachusetts or New Hampshire calls me and says, Joe, we're looking at Boca. We're looking at Palm Beach. We're looking at Delray. And I always ask the same question back. Have you actually been to the Gulf Coast? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. They just defaulted to the East Coast because that's the side of Florida the Northeast knows. Here's the honest truth. The East Coast, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, Boca, it's fast, it's dense, it's loud. The beaches face the Atlantic. The surf is bigger. The water is deeper blue. The building is taller than the sky. Dining scene is louder. Traffic is heavier. It's a metro life on the beach. If that's the energy you want, you should go to the east. And I'll tell you that directly. The Gulf Coast, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Bonita Springs, Estero, Naples, Marco Island is the complete opposite of the East Coast. The water is calm like a lake. The sand is white. The sunsets are a show. You sit on the beach with a drink and the sky changes colors for 45 minutes. The pace is slower. The traffic is real, but it's also local. The dining is excellent, but it is not a nightclub-like loud scene. It's outdoor patios, fresh seafood, golf course clubhouses. Most homes have pools with patios and lanais with screens on them. Boating culture is everywhere. There's more registered boats in Lee County than people in some small states. So when somebody asks me, Joe, which coast? I don't pick. I ask one question. Do you want energy or do you want water? If you want energy and density and that big city lifestyle, the East Coast is where you want to be. If you want water, boating, golf, beaches, slow pace, neighbors who actually know your name, that's the Gulf Coast side of things. That's where we are at, and that's where I moved my family to. Okay, if you're still with me, you're probably learning Gulf Coast. So let's talk about the parts everyone fall in love with. And everyone underestimates the golf community. Truth number 4, golf communities. This is our specialty. My team has covered 90 plus golf communities from Cape Coral to Marco Island. And I'm telling you right now, 90% of buyers who come down here looking for a golf home do not understand what they're actually buying. The home is the smallest part of the math equation with these communities. There are two basic models you have to understand. Model one, bundled. The golf membership is included with the home. You buy the home, you're a member, done. Monthly HOA covers your course, and the clubhouse sometimes the food minimum. Bundled golf are usually $700 to $1,500 a month in fees, and you cannot sell the home without the membership going with it. Model two, equity. You buy the home. The membership is separate. To play golf, you have to be invited to join the club. Pay an initiation fee that can range anywhere from $50,000, which is extremely low and very rare around here, to upwards of over $500,000, depending on the club. And then pay annual dues on top of that. That initiation fee at that high-end club in Naples, Estero, Bonita can be more than the down payment on your home. And that membership does not transfer when you sell your home. Real example here, a bundled community like Heritage Bay or Esplanade, total monthly costs, mortgage aside, you might be paying anywhere between $1,200 a month, all in for golf included. Versus an equity club like Quail West or Bonita Bay, you might be paying $300 a month in HOA fees, and then the initiation is $150,000 to $400,000. Due are another $25,000 to $50,000 a year. Two completely different financial profiles for what you're looking like a similar lifestyle from the outside. Now, there are benefits to both. When you're in a bundled golf community, sometimes, depending on how many homes are there, you have an abundance of people that can book golf. So you might not be able to golf as much as you like. Versus equity, where they have a certain amount of number of people that can golf because there's a certain number of memberships, and you might be able to golf a little bit more. So it really depends on what you're looking for. And here's the data points that I build our whole golf guide around. Numbers of members to home ratio. Nobody talks about this. If the club has 700 homes and only allows 350 golf memberships, you're playing a course that is half full. Tee times are easier. The course is in great shape. Versus a club that has 1,200 homes and 800 memberships. You're waiting for tee times. The course is getting hammered. Conditions are suffering. The course architect doesn't matter as much as the math. So before you fall in love with the clubhouse and the kitchen, get the full math. Initiation, dues, food minimum, capital reserves, member to house ratio, and what happens to the membership when you sell the house. We have a guide for all 44 of the top Southwest Florida golf communities. It's free. The link is in the description. So now the last hard truth, and it's the one that ends more contracts than anything else. Truth number 5, I can't tell you how many Northeast buyers I have pulled up their tax estimate, looked at the bottom of the page, and they say, Joe, what is a CDD? If you've never heard of the term, you're not alone. Up north, we don't have these. In Southwest Florida, especially in newer master plan communities like Babcock Ranch, Wild Blue, Terra Walk, a lot of the sterile builds, they're everywhere. CDD stands for Community Development District. Basically, when a developer builds a master plan community, gated community, instead of charging for all of the roads, the sewers, the amenities, the lakes, the entry gates up front, they bond the cost and you pay it back over 20 to 30 years on your tax bill. It's a line item right on your annual property tax statement in a typical Southwest Florida community. It's just common. That CDD assessment can be $1,500 to $4,000 a year on top of your regular taxes. Then there's the HOA. Single family homes and master plan communities here can run anywhere between $200 to $1,500 a month, depending on what's included. And after the Surfside condo collapse, Florida tightened their laws on HOA and condo reserves dramatically. A lot of older condo associations are now hitting owners with massive special assessments to catch up on their reserves. I've seen $40,000, $60,000, six-figure assessments hit owners with no warning. So if you're buying a condo, the reserve study and the last 3 years of HOA financials are non-negotiable with my buyers. Ask for them before you even write an offer, so you can have an understanding of that before you even get into that negotiation. If a seller or agent cannot produce a clean reserve study in 3 years of financials in 48 hours, that tells you everything you need to know about that building. Walk away. There are 600 other buildings just like it on the coast. You need to have that information. Okay, I told you the hard stuff because every other Florida realtor on YouTube is going to sugarcoat it. You deserve the honest version, but I'd be lying to you if I was going to stop there, because here's the other side. My partner, Jarrett, and I, we both made the move with our families down here. Both of us grew up in the Northeast. Both of us spent decades doing the things that you're doing right now, looking at Florida on a screen, wondering if it is real, wondering if it's worth it. And I'm going to tell you what I tell all my customers who ask me off the record what I actually think. It is real, and we wish we had done it sooner. It's coffee on the lanai in February in shorts. It's dinner outside at a place you can walk right into. It's golfing 2 days a week without taking a vacation day. It's my kids going over and visiting their grandparents right across the street, and they actually want to visit you and enjoy being with you in the sun. It's not having a shovel. It's not having an ice scraper. It's not losing 6 months of your life to a season that does not love you back. Is it perfect? No. Insurance is more than it was. Taxes are real. Hurricanes do happen. HOA math gets complicated, and don't even get me started with the HOAs themselves. I told you all that already, and I told you because I respect you enough to tell you that up front. But the people who make the move with the right plan in the right communities with the right home, they don't come back. I have never had a customer tell me, I wish they had stayed back home where it's gray 6 months out of the year. It just doesn't happen. This is the last thing, and it's because I promised you earlier. Which of the 6 Southwest Florida cities is actually right for you? They're not all the same. Buyers default to Naples because they've heard of it. That's almost never the right reason to be looking at a city. So let's do a quick tour. Cape Coral, if you're a boater, this is the city for you. 400 miles of canals, more than any city in the entire planet. Best price per square foot waterfront in Southwest Florida. Family driven, growing fast, real working communities. If you want water access without maple prices, start here. Fort Myers, central, historic, diverse, downtown river district is genuinely walkable. Restaurants, music, the riverfront, mix of established neighborhoods and newer builds. If you want urban, adjacent without losing the Southwest Florida pace, Fort Myers is underrated. Bonita Springs, the sweet spot between Fort Myers and Naples. You get the beach access, the dining, the golf without the Naples premium. Honestly, this is where a lot of my Northeast clients land once they realize what they actually want and where they want to be. Estero, newer construction, master plan, lots of bundled golf, 10 minutes to the airport. If you're wanting a turnkey home in a gated community with a clubhouse, tennis, pickleball, this is your stop. Easiest landing for someone coming from a suburban Northeast neighborhood. This is a place you definitely need to check out, especially if you're a family. Naples, the luxury benchmark. World-class dining on Fifth Ave, the cleanest beaches on the coast, the highest concentration of high-end golf in the country, bar none. Look it up. And the price tags to match, though. If your budget supports it and you want that polished version of Southwest Florida, Naples is the answer. Marco Island. It says it in the name. Island life. Literally. Bridge in, bridge out. Skewed on the older side, skewed to the quieter side. Premium beach lifestyle, a tight-knit community feel. And if your dream is waking up on an island, Marco is the only place on the coast that delivers that in bunches. 6 cities, 6 completely different lifestyles. Pick wrong and you'll be moving back in 18 months. Pick right, You'll never look back. Here's how I can help you pick the right one. 2 things, both free, no pressure. 1, I build a full Southwest Florida relocation guide that breaks down all 6 cities in detail: taxes, insurance, schools, communities, the whole picture. Link is in the description. Download it, sit with it, share it with your spouse. That's it. 2, if you want to walk through your specific situation, what you're leaving, what you're looking for, what your budget actually can buy you, book a 20-minute call with me. No follow-up sequence, designed to wear you down. No high-pressure pitch. Just a conversation with somebody who made this move and helps Northeast families make it every week. Link is in the description for that too. And listen, if you watch all of this right here, you're serious. So here's the shortcut. Text me directly at 239-380-4665. Just say YouTube. That's it. One word. And I'll know that we need to connect. I'll text you back personally, not a bot. We'll take some time and we'll go from there. I'm Joe Leah with the Anchor Point Group. Me and my partner, who is also my brother-in-law, we're here. We're anchored in faith and driven by results. And we're here whenever you're ready. Take care.